When I first started using UTM on Mac in 2023, it caught me off guard when I saw their Ubuntu tutorial. It had you installing Ubuntu Server and then installing the Ubuntu GNOME desktop on top of it. I thought there has to be no way Ubuntu does not have a desktop ARM version, as they've had a Raspberry Pi image since Ubuntu 20.10. Sure enough, when I went to their website, they didn't. I tried using their method, but it just wasn't the same, as the server version doesn't function in the exact same way as the desktop version. Around 2 years go by, and when I was reading the release notes for Ubuntu 24.10, extremely late after the release, I might add, I saw they finally included an ARM version. I actually did a short back in March announcing that. What this means for Mac users is we finally have a true Ubuntu desktop we can run on M series processors. This is B from Tay Talk Tech, and today I'm going to show you how to install Ubuntu desktop in UTM on Mac, so stick around. I have a favor to ask. If you like this type of video and want to see more content like it, make sure to subscribe and hit the bell button for notifications. Also, don't forget to give this video a like if you like it. Let me know what you liked, didn't like, or if you have any comments, questions, concerns, or emotional outbursts down in the comment section below. And lastly, make sure to stick around all the way to the end of this video to get the most out of it. Let's do this thing. All right, so what I need to go ahead and do here is I need to go ahead and shrink my face down. All right, there we go. All right, so here we are on the ISO release page for 25.04, which is the most recent interim release of Ubuntu. Now, if you notice there, I said interim release. That's because this is not a long-term support version. So with these, you're typically going to get somewhere around 9 to 12 months of updates. So keep in mind that, once Ubuntu notifies you, like, hey, dude, you need to update, which should be around probably October of this year, you want to make sure to do that, because after that timer runs out on the updates, you won't have support for it and could leave yourself vulnerable from a security perspective. So just make sure to be cognizant of that. So what we need to do here is we need to go ahead and grab the ARM ISO image. Now, please make sure this is the ARM version. It'll say ARM. It'll say ARM V8, ARCH 64. So if you don't see ARM in this little thing here, then you need to go ahead and go back and get the correct version of the ISO image, because if not, it's not going to work on an M series MacBook. Now, if you have an Intel MacBook, that's when the x64, the x86 AMD 64 version would be the one that you want. So just please make sure that you grab the right version. I'm going to link this down below so that you can go ahead and just grab it, but then all you have to do is just go ahead and click right here and it'll automatically download. I've actually already downloaded it. I've got it right here. There we go. I've also got the x86 version, so got to make sure, see how closely these can kind of be here. ARM 64 versus AMD 64. So just, again, make sure you have the right one. All right, so let's go ahead and go into our UTM install, because we don't need this anymore. All right, what we're going to do here is we're going to go ahead and click on the plus button. And we're going to go ahead and go to virtualize. And then we're going to go to Linux. And then what we want to go ahead and do here is we don't want to use Apple virtualization. We don't want to boot from a kernel image. We want to go ahead and select the path to the boot ISO image. So we're going to come here to browse. It's automatically going to take it to where I need to go. So let's go ahead and select the one that we need, which is this one right here. We're going to hit open. And then we're going to go ahead and select continue. And go ahead and give it the amount of RAM and CPU cores that you want. I usually just leave the CPU cores at default. And this Mac Studio has 36 gigabytes of RAM, so I'm just going to go ahead and give it 8, which is 8,192 megabytes. All right, and let's go ahead and hit continue. And then I'm just going to leave the storage at default. You can give it as much as you want. And then I'm not setting up a shared directory. And then I'm going to go ahead and change this name right here. Put Ubuntu Desktop 25.04. So I know which one this is. All right, perfect. There we go. And just make sure everything is correct here. All right, everything looks good here. So we're going to go ahead and hit save. All right, perfect. So what we're going to do here is we're going to go ahead and hit the play button here. It's going to go ahead and bring it up. This will take just a minute here to go ahead and get through this first boot time. It's interesting because when I booted through here for like an install, the initial load-in is a lot faster here than it is when I do it on a desktop, and it's probably because here we're using an NVMe storage device, an SSD, whereas there we're using a USB device, which has only got USB 3 speeds, and it's a much slower form of storage. So we're going to go ahead and do here is once you actually get into the actual boot, is what you're going to do is you're going to go through the steps. You're going to go through the steps to go through the install. The install is pretty easy. You know what? Let's actually just go through it. Let's just go through it together. It's a pretty quick process. Just in case you've never installed Linux before, this is your first time, we'll go ahead and use this as a tutorial. I'm not going to explain too much here because I just want to get you through it. We're going to go ahead and here select install, and all the ones before this we just kind of kept hitting next. We're going to do an interactive installation. We want to do just the default selection. We'll go ahead and have it install any additional media formats as well as any other drivers. We want to go ahead and select to erase the disk and install Ubuntu unless you want to manually do it. We're not going to set up any encryption. We're going to go ahead and we're going to use our tried and trusty name. I'm going to leave the name as the default because I'm going to delete this later. I'm going to go ahead and give it a super secure password. All right, and then we're going to go ahead and hit next. Select your time zone. And then this is just going to confirm that. And then we'll go ahead and hit install. Now this process will take, varying lengths depending on, when your Apple hardware is from. So just keep that in mind that it may take a little bit of time. Don't be worried. It will eventually get installed. So what I'm going to go ahead and do here is just because this part will take a while, is I'm going to go ahead and pause the video and I'll come back once it is complete. All right, and we've got it successfully installed. So what we need to go ahead and do is we need to go ahead and hit restart now. All right, it's going to take just a few minutes or a few moments here to go ahead and get itself rebooted. And once it gets itself rebooted, we'll have to go ahead and do a couple more things to go ahead and get this installed. Now, it will function as it is now, but the issue is that it's going to not be functioning optimally. Now, we have to add a SPICE agent and a QEMU agent to be able to go ahead and allow us to completely interact with this virtual machine as if we're doing it directly on any kind of bare metal. So that's what we're going to have to do, is we're going to have to get those installed. And this happens sometimes. If you see this happen, just come up here to this thing and power it off. Because you see here it says failed unmounting CD-ROM mount, and it's just going to hang here. So just go ahead and go up to that little power button. Again, this one right here. And we're just going to go ahead and force shut it down. We're going to go ahead and X out of there. All right, so here we go. So this is our desktop installation right here. We're going to come down here to this right here, and this is one thing. Even if you got past that for whatever reason and it rebooted back into Ubuntu, you'll want to make sure to do this at some point in time to remove this ISO image, because sometimes it creates problems. So let's go ahead and do that. We just click on this and hit clear. And then what we're going to do is we're going to hit the play button again to go back into the install. Here we go. All right, perfect. I'm there. Boot it up pretty quickly. There we go. To Ubuntu, you can just go through all this stuff. Let's not do that. There we go. And then we're going to bring up the terminal. Oops, I always forget. I'm so used to using Fedora where it's up here. And on Ubuntu, it's down here. There we go. And what we're going to do is we're going to do sudo apt update, because we need to go ahead and make sure all the packages are updated before we go ahead and start. Of course you'll want to make sure to go through the upgrade step. I'm not going to show you that in this video just because that's not the point. We do want to go ahead though and get the the agents installed. Oops. We're going to do sudo apt install. And this one's going to be Spice. It's going to be the VD agent. And then what we're going to need to do after that, let's go ahead and close out that. Then we're also going to need to install the QEMU guest agent. Yep, we're going to go ahead and hit yes. It won't take too long to go ahead and get that installed. And perfect. Now you're able to go ahead and have full accessibility as if you were accessing this on bare metal. One of the biggest things that it really updates is your ability to scale this much better. Because if you like, what would happen is that when we'd open this up, is it would stay in that same scaling, and then it would not scale to the actual size of the monitor or the resolution. So you'd get a lot of like blurriness and stuff like that. So you want to make sure that you're able to go ahead and have a seamless experience with Ubuntu Desktop on a Mac. So I'm so glad the Ubuntu team brought Ubuntu Desktop to ARM. This is allowing us to run popular Linux distributions on our Macs and, honestly, more widespread ARM adoption. I'm personally excited to see where the X alternatives go in the future. Make sure to check out this other video from my channel. Remember, mistakes make you better, so keep on making them. Thank you so much for watching my video, and have the greatest of days.